The first time I noticed him, it was nothing more than a flicker, a shadow in the window across the street, motionless behind sheer curtains just barely lit by the yellow glow of a standing lamp. I figured it was someone watching TV, maybe. Falling asleep in a chair, maybe just staring into nothing. That's what you tell yourself when you're trying not to spook yourself over nothing. But the second night, he was there again. This time, I could see his silhouette clearer, upright, unmoving, facing directly toward my bedroom window. The town I moved to, Cresswell, Texas, isn't much more than a cluster of houses and a single gas station wrapped in the silence of long stretches of cracked two-lane highways and cotton fields that go gray in the moonlight. People here are quiet, not unfriendly, just reserved. My house was cheap, a squat brick thing with a sagging porch and an air conditioner that rattled like a dying truck engine. But it had charm, or so I thought when I signed the papers. The house across the street was older, wooden, faded blue paint curling off its sides like paper shavings. I'd never seen anyone go in or out of it, but someone was living there. Watching Dot at first, I brushed it off. Told myself it was just a trick of the light, but I couldn't help myself. Every night before bed, I'd peek through my blinds. And every night, he'd be there, standing behind that curtain. Always in the same place. Always watching. I started closing my blinds earlier. Then I covered the window entirely with a blanket. Still, I could feel it, a pressure, a presence. Like eyes pressing against the walls. I stopped sleeping through the night. I'd wake up sweating, convinced I heard footsteps outside. Faint creak of wood, a breath against glass. I asked around, discreetly, about the house. Most people just shrugged. Old Levi used to live there, said the woman at the gas station. But he's been dead a long while now. Ain't no one bought that place in years. What about squatters? I asked. She shook her head. No. One sticks around in that house. It's cursed or haunted or both. One of those places where the air just ain't right. She smiled when she said it, but there wasn't any warmth behind it. I tried calling the sheriff. He sent a deputy out one night. Young guy, nervous smile. Said he'd take a look, maybe knock on the door. He didn't stay long. I watched him. From my front window, watched him go up the porch steps, knock once, wait, knock again. He looked like he was listening. Then he turned, glanced across the street at my house, and walked off without saying a word. Never came back. Never filed. A report that the watching didn't stop. I started sleeping in the living room behind closed doors. But that only made it worse. I'd wake up hearing the floorboards upstairs creaking, and I wasn't up there. My bedroom door would be open, even though I'd locked it. Sometimes I'd find my bedsheets pulled off, crumpled on the floor. Like someone had climbed in and decided against it. My cat stopped going near the bedroom entirely. She'd hiss at the staircase, puff up, and bolt under the couch. One night, I lost it. I grabbed a flashlight, stormed across the street, and pounded on the door of that old house. "Who the hell are you?" I shouted. "Why are you watching me?" No answer. The porch groaned under my feet. The windows were darker than anything I'd ever seen. Like they weren't just unlit, like they absorbed light. I tried the door. It was locked. I rattled it hard. I even kicked it once. That's when I heard it. A voice not loud, not angry, but calm. Deep. "You shouldn't have come here." I stumbled backward, scanning the porch. But there was no one there. No movement in the windows. The voice seemed to come from everywhere. The walls, the air, maybe even my own head. I ran back across the street, tripping on my own front step. Locked every door. Didn't sleep at all that night. The next morning, I packed a bag. Called into work. Said I needed time off. I drove to my sister's place in San Antonio, 4 hours away. Spent a week there. I didn't tell her much, just that something was wrong in my neighborhood. She didn't ask questions. We'd never been close. When I came back, I half expected the house to be gone or boarded up, or maybe the whole street swallowed by a sinkhole. But no, everything was as I left it. Except one thing, the curtains across the street were wide open, and the window was empty. For the first time in weeks, no one was watching me. I told myself it was over. I slept in my own bed again. Even opened my blinds, hoping the sunlight would burn away whatever fear I'd been steeping in. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was still wrong. The air was heavier now, the silence deeper. Like the whole neighborhood had fallen into a dream and left me awake in it. Then came the night when the knocking started. Not on the front door. On the bedroom window, 3 soft knocks. Just after midnight, I froze. Lay there listening. I didn't move, didn't breathe. Just stared at the ceiling and prayed it was a branch, a bird, anything. But it came again. 3 precise taps. Closer this time, like whatever was knocking had its face pressed to the glass. I forced myself up. Pulled the blanket off the window. The street was empty. His house was dark. But there was something in the reflection of my own window. A shape behind me, tall, thin, barely there. When I turned, the room was empty. The knocking stopped. Over the next few days, I stopped going to work. I couldn't leave the house. Couldn't sleep. I'd see him now, not just in the window, but in reflections, in the television when it was off, in the dark corners of the hallway, always facing me, always still. I called a priest. He came with holy water and a Bible, walked the house slowly, mumbling Latin, flicking water into corners. After an hour, he told me there was something here. Something old, something that latched on. Latched on to what? I asked. He didn't answer. Just left. That night, I found the curtains in my bedroom torn down. The window was wide open. And the watching resumed, only this time it wasn't across the street. It was inside. I'd wake up to find my closet door ajar, my bathroom mirror fogged with breath. Once, I found footprints, wet, bare feet, leading from the front door to the staircase, but my doors were locked. My floors were dry. No rain for days. I stopped using lights, lived in the dark. It felt safer. As if whatever was in the house hated the dark more than I did. I stopped answering my phone. People stopped checking in. Then, a few nights ago, I caught a glimpse of his face. I was in the hallway, holding a flashlight that flickered and died just as I passed the mirror. For half a second, I saw him behind me. Pale skin stretched too, tight over a skull-like face, eyes like hollow glass, mouth too wide, too still. His arms hung long at his sides, fingers twitching slightly like they were remembering how to move. I screamed, but no sound came out. I dropped the flashlight and ran outside, barefoot, down the middle of the street. I didn't stop until I hit the edge of the cotton field, panting, crying, shaking. When I turned back, every window in my house was lit. And every window had a face. Not just his. Others. Hundreds of them. Watching. Don't remember how I got back inside. Or if I even did. Maybe I'm still out there. Maybe I never left the field. But I wake up every morning in the same bed. And the watching continues. And now, I think I'm starting to understand. He wasn't watching me. He was studying. Waiting. Learning how to get in. And now that he's here, he doesn't need the window anymore. Now, he watches from inside my head.